What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Me and He podcast with your host, Araya Sunshine. In today's episode, I will be talking about all things Paul Quinn College here in Dallas, Texas. This is my third and final school. I know for a fact this is going to be my final school. I know a lot of people have asked, like, well, are you going to switch again your senior year? No, it was never even the plan for me to become a transfer student 3 years in a row. I'm done. I love this school. I'm only on day 2 in person and I only have 1 week of virtual school underneath my belt, but I'm just gonna tell y'all my experience thus far. Okay, so how I heard about Paul Quinn is like I said, I graduated high school when I was 16 and then I started college a couple months later when I was 16. And so I always knew that I wanted to go to college in one of two places, either Houston, Texas or Dallas, Texas. And so immediately I went to Houston, Texas. In my opinion, at the time when I was 16, I was thinking like, where can I find somewhere to settle down? Where do I feel like I can find a good Christian godly man and like a good community with an influx of Black people? I picked Houston over Dallas. And so I was at Houston Baptist first semester. I was like, whoa, I rushed into this way too quickly, but I knew that I didn't want to take off from school. So then I transferred back to my hometown, which is Lubbock, Texas. It's in the panhandle of Texas. And I ended up going to Lubbock Christian University. So I've always kept Christianity as my theme when picking colleges because that is very, very important to me. My podcast name is literally Me and He podcast. The He is God, which is why it's capitalized. But I just, that was just always an important thing to me. And my first 2 institutions were PWIs, meaning predominantly white institutions. It was never a requirement for me personally to have to go to an HBCU. It was something I thought about, but it was never a requirement for me. Now, a lot of stuff happened in my family, which I talk about in my testimony, and I've talked about recently with graduating early. That's the most recent video that there is. And I just do not come from a good background. I come from a lot of background of abuse and neglect and various things like that. I'm very used to moving around a lot and being sporadic and not having stability in my home. So I knew that as I was getting older and I wanted to get my driver's license and really get stuff together and leave so that I know for a fact that I would not come back, I knew that I needed to move to another college, and not just any other college, but a college that was out of the city, because I knew that if I stayed close to my family, I would always come back. And it's like the Achilles heel story. Like Achilles was so great, but like his downfall was the Achilles heel that got him. And for me, I love my family dearly, but holding on to them so closely when there's a lot of toxicity there and various things like that, it just was bound to hold me back. And I knew that I needed to spread my wings. And it's hard. It is extremely hard. But the only thing that has kept me grounded is my faith during this time, which I will continue to talk about later. But so that is how I picked Paul Quinn College. I actually have really never even heard of it, but I was making a spreadsheet of all colleges that I was even remotely interested in Texas. I looked at Wiley College because of the debate team and I had watched The Great Debaters. I looked at Jarvis Christian. I looked at Houston Tillotson. I looked at, sorry for butchering that if I did. I looked at Dallas Baptist University because I actually got accepted into Dallas Baptist when I was 16 because that was the school that I was thinking about going to as well. I looked back at Houston Baptist, which is now Houston Christian, my first school, and I was like, maybe should I just go back? I literally made an Excel sheet. I put down, the price, was it a PWI or HBCU, which really, again, that was not a determining factor. I was like, oh, like that'll just be nice to be around, people that are like me. But even then, just because I share the same race as someone does not mean that we're the exact same. So that's why that was not a priority in my opinion. But I made that call on the spreadsheet, how much the tuition was before and after aid, because that is so important to me as I am an independent student. So I pay for my stuff, okay? And then also like what was like the social life? Did they have fraternities, sororities? Did they have student government associations? Did you have the opportunity to work on campus? So many things. And so my top 3 ended up being Jarvis Christian, Wiley College, and Paul Quinn College. Also Houston Tillotson, but here's what I was looking at. Whenever I was looking online, whenever I would see people use tags of their school, I was looking for whether or not people what's the word? If people that went to that school carried themselves accordingly. Now, I'm at Paul Quinn currently. Not everyone here carries themselves to a higher standard. And that is not to try and belittle them. Well, I guess it kind of would be. But that is even something that our president has said. We are the new incoming class. Every single year when you go into an incoming class, it doesn't matter what college it's going to be at. Not everybody is ready for college, and not everybody is ready to lock in. That's just how it is. I'm going into my junior year. I'm not a freshman, so I know some things, but I still don't know everything. I haven't been prepared for every single thing, so let me just say that. But with a lot of the universities that I looked at, their social media presence was focused more on Black culture instead of Black excellence. It was focused more on the parties that they had and their homecomings rather than how is y'all's academic life like? Is y'all president a good president? Like, that's all the stuff I was looking at. And now I did see like 1 or 2 videos of Paul Quinn students like going to parties and stuff, and their theme of it was like, you can still go to parties and like, you know, lock in with schoolwork, whatever, things like that. But at the end of the day, when I looked at Paul Quinn's like social media presence, I'm not saying it was just 100% no errors, but in my opinion, it favored my background with having my relationship with Christ and it being the firm foundation. That is also what I would say before you pick any college. You need to understand its backgrounds. Paul Quinn has an AME background, African Methodist Episcopal Church. That is what it's founded on. We are a faith-based institution. This is another reason why I chose this place, because it is a place where I can cultivate my faith. Not even cultivate my faith, I would just say steward my faith, as I have already brought that in when I'm coming here. It is of the utmost importance that when you are picking colleges or going anywhere new, doing anything in life, you must be submitted to Christ, because the opportunities to sin that you are going to have is going to be relentless. Just last night, and the day before, and the week before, even on the Zoom call, I've had to pray so many times about me being grounded, me being prepared, and me not stumbling and falling when it comes to lust, because this stuff is serious, y'all. Yes, we're college students, and yes, people are like, oh, you're gonna have sex and you're gonna go out and do drinking, all that stuff, whatever. That is not the life that I want to live right now. I'm not going to say that I'm not tempted, because I'm 10,000% tempted every single day that I just walk around doing anything, even if I wasn't at this campus. But it is so important to know that you must be grounded in your faith, because anything could deter you from the left to the right whenever you are not stable. So there's that. Now, once you are accepted, so you're going to have a virtual week where you meet the president of Paul Quinn College. Sorry, I was going to say LCU. You're going to meet your professors for summer bridge. You're going to meet your financial advisors. You're going to meet the TAs, which are teachers assistants, and some of the teachers assistants are also RAs, residential assistants. You're going to meet a lot of people on that Zoom call. And what I will tell you now is your best bet is to keep your camera on, because they will be watching you, and you are at a small school. So you want to make yourself look presentable even before you meet them, because I promise you they will remember your face from the Zoom call camera. Wear your business casual. That's what we're expected to wear every day, which I will also go on to talk about. Make sure that you are participating and engaged. Make sure that when you are chatting in the Zoom room that you're not saying crazy stuff. They can see it all. They was in college too. They're not dumb. They're not dumb. They may be a slight bit behind on this lane, but they're not dumb people. They are sinners just like us. They know what type of stuff that we used to do and that they used to do when they were young and dumb. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But so you're gonna have that. Any and every question that you have is a perfect time to ask that before you get onto campus. Ask it on the Zoom call. They're gonna give you multiple chances to raise your hand and ask questions. There were some very dumb questions that were asked, and there were also some very intellectual questions that were asked. I'm saying that so that you know that be comfortable with asking the question. Yes, they're probably gonna crack a joke if you ask a dumb question, or if you ask a question that was already talked about, but at least you said it. So that is going to deal with everything pre-campus, checking in, talking about the dorms, all of that stuff you're going to know beforehand, so you're not just walking into this process blindly. Now, I should have explained this better before. When I say this process, I do mean summer bridge. Summer bridge is required for every single first-time incoming student. There is an older woman here who is actually in her 50s, but is her first time coming to Paul Quinn College. She did not get to skip out on the virtual orientation week or her being here. Now, she doesn't have to stay here. You don't have to stay here on campus during summer bridge, but I did because I'm not from here. You can commute, you can do other things, but she was not exempt from that. I am not a first-time freshman, but I am a first-time Quinnite because we are the Paul Quinn Quinnites. So I still had to be here, and I had the option of either staying here or commuting. That doesn't matter if you're a freshman or not. You can stay here or commute. But I'm just letting you know the standard is the same for everybody. Just because you're a transfer student does not mean that you get to miss out on the summer bridge process, because there's a lot of information that they're going to be teaching you. And I'll be honest, I was like, man, if I'm a transfer student, why am I even required to come at this time? But I'm so thankful that they made me, because the information that I have learned in the short amount of time is insane to me, okay? So make sure that you know it. They will let you know when move-in day is. You do have to be cleared by the financial aid office and various things like that, and then you will move in. Where you will be moving in is a place called Crow. I'm not gonna lie to you, I should know the full name because we just got tested on this, but I'm actually not 100% sure of the full name. I think it's like the Trinell Crow Living and Learning Center. This is new. It is more updated. It is nice here. This is my second time living in a suite style dorm room. I think they're great. I think they're excellent. You will have 2 rooms, 2 beds in each room. So like 2 roommates in each room. You will have a bathroom adjacent to another room with 2 roommates in each room. So like a Jack and Jill kind of style room. I love that because you don't have communal showers. I absolutely love that. And if you're like, well, why can't we just have our own? I think it would just be better for us to have what we have, rather than them try to take it away and say, oh, now nobody's gonna have their own. Like, let's not do that, okay? Let's not do that. Let's be grateful. But yeah, so I like it. Everything is pretty much updated. Crow is really nice. It is updated. I love the purple wall, which you can kind of see it right here. But yeah, those are the colors. It's like purple, yellow, gray, white, I'm pretty sure. Please don't clock me on that. I know I'm not doing so well with the information this week because I haven't been as prepared as I should be, which I will also be talking about. But so you're gonna move in, learn all that stuff. You should have a roommate. I do not. So I thank God so much for that, because that's gonna give me even more leeway when I'm in my own room to worship Him, spend time with Him, and all of those things. All right, so moving on. You are expected to wear business casual, even in the summer bridge program, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The only exception is after that 5:30 time is done and you're going into like the cafeteria or just walking around campus. But even then, no bonnets and no do-rags, period. You can only wear those in the Crow living facility where we're at. You will get fined if you are out of dress code, point blank, period. And the only other exception is Friday. After chapel on Fridays, you can wear jeans with no holes in them and a Paul Quinn t-shirt. If not, again, you are expected to be in business casual. So I know that a lot of people, even just in my class, like coming in, they were like, oh my gosh, like it's too hot for business casual. We gotta wear slacks in the sun, because it's upwards of 100 degrees every single day. Usually higher, like 102 is the peak every single day. It's hard, I'm not gonna lie to you, but they are not trying to purposely make us walk from that place to that place, to this place to this place. That is not their goal, to try to make us sweat and do things like that. So I would say for young ladies, always wear cotton underwear, please. Please wear breathable undergarments, because if you're too focused on trying to look cute, you're gonna mess around and get a yeast infection. And 1, who wants a yeast infection? 2, who wants a yeast infection in the heat? Let her breathe. Please let her breathe, okay? Wear breathable undergarments. I actually went to Dollar Tree and I just bought some antiperspirant deodorant. Please know the difference between the two. Deodorant is to get the odor, it's to block the odor. Antiperspirant is just to stop the sweat. In this Texas heat, you probably need a combination of both, but please first, make sure your deodorant is good. This is not the time to be trying aluminum for deodorants, not in this heat. Do not. I'm begging you, everyone is begging you, please do not do that unless you know for a fact that it's tried and true. And please, even if you feel like it's tried and true, have other people smell you, because nose blindness is real, Okay, it's real. But I just bought a cheap antiperspirant deodorant, not for my underarms or anything, but underneath my breast and underneath my butt because, you know, I'm a slim thick. Okay, seriously though, like locking in, sorry, someone sent me a message. Locking in though, like seriously, take care of your hygiene while you are here. Again, we are not like the University of Houston or these big institutions. You are a small university, and so if you're if your breath is stinking, like I've already ran into that problem. I'm not even trying to be funny, I'm just being honest so that y'all know. People will know and they will remember. Your first impression is so important just as a human in your day-to-day life, but it is like amped up 10,000 times when you are in a smaller place and you're gonna have to get to know people. That's another thing. I am really good at my on and off switch when it comes to socializing with people. This is not the time for you to just be a hermit crab. Like even now I'm in my room by myself, I don't have a roommate, but I will be making sure that like I am trying to engage in class. That has been hard for me, but I'm going to push myself because your grades depend on it, your future connections depend on it. You have to understand that this stuff is important. If you want to go to a college where you are pushed to be the best version of yourself, in a very uncomfortable way, this is the place for you. Just yesterday, and this can either make you want to come to Paul Quinn or be like, no, I can never. In either way, it's fine, because whatever God's will is for you, that's God's will. But literally just yesterday, there were 2 people who came in late, and our president, he let us know beforehand he does not like lateness. Like if people are late, that's a page for every minute. 2 boys came in 5 minutes late. He said 5 times 2 is what? We responded 10. We had a 10-page paper due. We found out yesterday it was due today at 8 a.m. And we could not also just try and turn it in. We had to make sure that when we emailed it to him, you always have to CC his assistants. There's 5 of them. And then you also have to make sure that you have a body in the email. Again, if you want mediocrity, this is not the school for you. Point blank period. It won't be today, it won't be tomorrow, and it won't be any day after that. This is a school for if you want to be pushed and you want to be the best version of yourself. This is where you should find yourself at. If you're like, no, I don't want to do that, I don't want to be uncomfortable, there are so many other schools that you can go to. And I don't even mean that in a shady way. I just don't want you to throw yourself into something that you are not ready for, because you will get the rug pulled straight up from underneath you and you will be dragged with the amount of coursework and things that you have to do. Like I just said, a 10-page paper in less than 24 hours when we still have other essays that are due from other classes. That's incredibly hard, but I'm okay with that because I'm at a point in my life where I can say I need to be pushed. I do not want to be okay with mediocrity. That does not mean that you should forsake rest, which is talked about all throughout the Bible. Our Heavenly Father literally created us and created the world, and then on the 7th day he rested. That is of the utmost importance, and especially because we are a faith-based institution. We are founded on those biblical principles, but do not take on more than you can handle. I would say if you're thinking like, I do want to be pushed, you need to pray and make sure that this is something that you are comfortable with being ready for. And if you're like, there are going to be days I'm not ready, you need to be comfortable with being like, okay, somebody will be there to push me. It might be embarrassing, it might be hard, but I'm gonna still get it done. So there's that. Also, for the RAs who are sometimes teachers' assistants, it just depends. I would say try and get to know them. Just try and get to know them. That's all I would say on that matter. I'm trying to think what else in regards to them. The teachers' assistants that we meet now are the ones for our president's class. President Michael J. Sorrell, he's the president of the whole university. I would say get to know them. They're gonna be able to help you when it comes to the president's class. And then the RAs, you should just know them because this is a smaller place. Make sure you get to know them. Be on their good side. They are the ones who have to do your room checks and things like that. We're going to be seeing each other for a minimum of a year as you're staying here. So just making sure that you're sociable and paying attention to all those things. And with all the rest of the faculty, stop into their office occasionally and say hi. Literally, Dr. Turner, he told me that himself, which if you come here, you're going to meet him. There's no way that you can get out of meeting him. Make sure that you're personable. Make sure that you're speaking to people. You have to leave some type of mark and you cannot redo a first impression. So make sure that you stand out, not because you're cussing people out or not because you're getting in trouble on the first day, because all that stuff has already happened. but make sure that you're standing out for the right reason. And if you're someone like me that you feel like you're not really seeing because you're more on the quiet side and things like that, let your quiet character speak for itself. Your grace, your elegance, your poise, your femininity. I'm assuming you're a woman. Let that speak for you and not you trying to fit into someone else's mold. Be very careful with things like that. Whenever someone, like a staff or someone, is telling you you'll be quizzed on this, so be prepared for this, that's not a joke. They are not like those professors, because I've had professors before that will tell us to do this homework or that homework or whatever, and then they forget. And I'm like, are you serious right now? I just wasted my time. No, not here at Paul Quinn. And even if they don't address it the next day, it will be addressed. I promise you. We were supposed to memorize the alma mater and 2 poems and the Lift Every Voice and Sing. I already knew Lift Every Voice and Sing. I did not know the other 3. I have to do those by tonight. You cannot get out of that. If the president randomly calls you and you don't know it, now not only do you know that, but they know that. Your whole class knows that. Like, you have to be prepared for different things like that. I think it has been a blast so far. Definitely challenging, but not something that I would ever go back on. I know that I'm only 2 days in person, but I love it so far. Well, I guess kind of 3 days in. It's today Tuesday? Yeah, 3-ish days in. But I love it so far. I enjoy being pushed and exploring things that I did not want to explore, because how can you learn that way? How can you learn if you're not doing that? So with that being said, the last thing, the work program, we're a work college. You will be expected to work at Paul Quinn. The only exemption is if you are a commuter student, you have the option not to work on campus, but we are a work program college. Sorry, I'm trying to hook my flamingo nose on the camera. That's crazy, my bad. These are the slippers I have on, by the way. But we are a work program college, so you are gonna need to have a job. And I know like this stumped a lot of people, which is again why you should be doing your research before you come to a college. But in the work program, you do not get paid like direct deposit, cash, bank card, not even by check. That money from the work program goes toward your tuition. And so if you're 18, this can really mess with you. I'm 18 as well, but I mean like at 18 and like this is your first time in college, you'll be like, oh my gosh, like I'm just gonna be broke. Like they don't want to see me succeed. Like this is all stuff that people have said, by the way. And you can be in this mindset of where you're like, no, like I would rather have that money in my pocket than tuition because I still have other bills to pay. And I 10,000% understand. I promise y'all, I understand. I still have bills due. I still have stuff that I would like to do with money, but that money is going to go toward your tuition. Now, you can have an outside job, but you more than likely are going to be working Monday through Friday, so it would probably only have to be a weekend job. Like you would not be able to do a full-time job and be a full-time student and work here in the work program. It just wouldn't happen. And so if that is something that you're like, no, like absolutely not, I'm not comfortable with, I definitely understand, but I just wanted to let y'all know that in advance, because that tripped a lot of people up. But that was already something I knew because I did my research. This is like the only institution out of the 3 I went to that I really made sure that I did my research and looked into things, which I would encourage anybody to do that. But yeah, so just make sure that you are prepared. Even if you're like, no, I don't think they're gonna ask us or questions on this, prepare yourself, okay? Because I have homework and stuff to do right now. Literally yesterday, I had on some nails. I had to pop them off and put on a clear coat on my nails because I had to do that 10-page paper. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. Not saying that you have to go to the extent and pop off your nails like I did, but I know that I can grip that Chromebook better if the nails are off. So it's things like that, like you're gonna have to sacrifice. If one person is late to class, you can't just be like, oh, like they need to do better. No. This slogan here at Paul Quinn is we over me. So everybody will have to suffer as a penalty for that. You have to lock in and you have to encourage others to lock in as well. That is literally like the probably most important thing I would say. You're gonna be challenged, you're gonna have to lock in. You cannot get around that at Paul Quinn. You just can't. So with that being said, hopefully I encourage y'all to come, but if I didn't, I'm not gonna apologize for that because that is the basis on which the school stands for. And I want you to know what you're getting into before you come here. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. My question, I feel like I should have asked this at the beginning, but you will be asked to do an introduction every single time that you speak. So I will let y'all know how it goes. It starts off with your first and last name. Where are you from? And if you've moved, where do you currently reside? Sorry, Lord have mercy. Third, sorry, I hear the RAs. What is your major? What is your major? And then fourth, the most important thing, what is your dream? You will be asked on your dream. Like a lot of the incoming freshmen, they're like, my dream is to be financially stable. My dream is to be a mom or things like this. And the president will straight up ask you, how can you be financially stable? You just saying making money is not gonna be enough. You have to know a plan and things like that. And if you don't know, be honest and say you don't know, but like, you gotta be prepared. So I will do my Quinn introduction and then I'll be done with this video. Hello, my name is Araya Sunshine Fitch. I was born in Charlottesville, Virginia, but I have resided in Lubbock, Texas for most of my life. I plan on being an early education major so I can be a teacher, and my dream is to continue to fight for the education system, as there has been a lot of doctrine that's been introduced that I just do not agree nor adhere to. So that's my Quinn introduction. You will have to introduce yourself like that. You will have to know how to shake hands and be firm with people. You will have to know how to stand so that people will be interested in you when you talk. The president straight up told us every single time that we see someone new talking, they have 3 to 5 seconds to convince our brain that they are worthy of listening to, or we're gonna turn the lamp off in our brain and do something else. So think about these things, okay, y'all? Think about it. Oh, good. It was a good thing I have my hair right here. But yeah, so I love y'all. Text me if y'all need anything. I know that this is not like the normal Me and He podcast content, but it's still necessary because this is a journey and a chapter that I'm in my life right now. So I love y'all. This is the setup right now with my ring light right there, and then you can see me in the oh wait, I can't see. Can you see? This is this big old ring light. But yeah, that's me in the mirror. So yeah, oh, you can't even see, whatever. All right, y'all, toodles.